Okay.
Hi, Kim.
Hi. This is my first time ever doing this.
I love this. Everybody, hello. I'm Sherry Belul. Oh, and I'm sorry because your name is not under here, which I didn't think about, but that's all right. It's us together, Kim
It's
Rosen.
us together. Yeah.
And I'm just going to say a quick word about Kim Rosen. Wrote this amazing book called Saved by a Poem. And I've had this book since, what'd you say, 2009 is when it came out.
It came out in 2009.
And that really, this is such an honor for me to be here with you. So Kim is a spoken word artist. She is a teacher. She's an author. She's a ceremonialist.
Well done. Well done. She didn't think she could say that word, but she just did it perfectly.
See, this is the power of the moment, right? It's like I was fearful. And this is one thing we're going to be talking about.
Yes. Yes. Turning toward
that which we are fearful. And speaking of, I love that you're here.
I love that you're here. Actually, in my Zoom studio, I've actually never had a second person here in the Zoom studio before. So it's a first for both of
this is just
both of us in this way.
And what you can't see, which I'm sad you can't, is there are two beautiful cats with us. And we wanted to try to bring them in too, but there's not enough space. So the reason that I am here with Kim Rosen is because I saw recently, maybe a few weeks ago, when you started promoting something called, is it Death's Door or At Death's Door?
No, it's Death's Door.
Death's Door. And there's a great tagline. Do you know it offhand?
Undefended at the threshold.
Love that. So I saw that Kim was offering this and I was like, oh, I want to be there. I have been following Kim for many years and have been lucky enough to get to be at your concerts where I say recite, but maybe that's not the right word.
It's a better word than read. A lot of people say you read poetry, which is not something I even could do if I wanted to do. I say it as speak poetry.
Speak poetry. And it is such a gift because I have to remember not to just be looking at you because I want to be talking to you, but then people out here are going to be like, why aren't they even talking to us? So I'm going to look out here even though I want to be talking to you. But it's a beautiful, I think you call them concerts, right?
Yes, I call them poetry concerts.
Poetry concerts with music. And it is one of the most beautiful experiences. Do you have a poem for us? Speaking of poems, because I seem to think that a few minutes ago I asked you if you would share. I think I'm going to switch it up. I don't know why, but I'm going to have you read The Art of Losing.
Okay.
I mean, not read.
It's a habit. It's a habit. So just for those of you who don't know me, I wrote a book called Saved by a Poem, as Sherry said, and I was saved by a poem by learning poems by heart. And that's what the book's about. So I do have all these poems inside me. As I've grown older, the book says that you will never lose the poems that you've learned by heart. There's some dilapidation going on in the poems in my mind and my heart. But I do have about 175 poems inside me that really are my teachers. And this is one of them. And it's called One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. And it's really something that both Sherry and I are in the midst of right now, because everyone in the world is in the midst of it. And you'll understand in a moment when you hear the poem. Everyone in the world, no matter what your age, no matter what your circumstances, we're all in the midst of it in some way or another. But right now, because of Sherry's new book called The Love List of a Lifetime, where she's been thinking a lot about death, as in at the end of one's life, as well as what I call the everyday deaths, which we talked about that for a minute before, the everyday deaths, which we'll come back to.
We are definitely going to come back to that.
This moment is an everyday death for me, because if we actually are alive, which is hard for me to believe, never having done this before, but this is a bit of a death, because those who know me know that I am a big preparer. I mean, those who know me well know that I I drive everyone crazy around me with how much I prepare for any kind of coming public. And yes, I'm making it truly being authentic and real moment by moment is always very important to me. But I make sure that I've, made sure that I know what I'm doing and what I'm going to talk about. And this is not the case right now.
Here we are. I love it.
But I do know this poem. And so let's get inside of this poem and let it take us for a ride.
Okay.
The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost, that their loss is not a disaster. Lose something every day, except the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster, places and names and where it was you meant to visit. None of these will bring disaster. I lost my mother's watch. And look, the last or next to last of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. I lost 2 countries, lovely ones, and vaster, some realms I owned. I've forgotten the next line. I lost the next line. And vaster, someone out there probably knows it, and vaster, some realms I own. The art of none of these, something like that. None of these will bring disaster, even losing you. The joking voice, a gesture I love. I shan't have lied. The art of losing isn't hard to master, though it can seem like, say it, a disaster. That's Elizabeth Bishop.
Yay.
Elizabeth Bishop, The Art of Losing. And there is some other line somewhere in the ethers that I lost.
But it wasn't a disaster.
Not a big one.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yes.
Thank you for doing that. And the reason that I wanted to start, well, 2 reasons. One is that Kim's book, Saved by a Poem, inspired my son and me a few years ago to learn some poems by heart. And that was one of them. Mm-hmm. And the reason I chose that is I have a hard time letting go. I have a really hard time letting go. And today we're going to be talking about some different aspects of letting go. And before we launch into the everyday deaths, I think is this a good time for your poem? The first one you ever wrote?
Okay, sure.
I feel like it is because I happened upon Kim's upcoming workshop that I'm very excited to participate in. And I think it was there that you mentioned, tell me if this is right, something to the effect of, I've been thinking about end of life since the time I wrote my first poem, which was how old?
Let me check. 5th grade.
5th grade. Okay. So we're gonna hear this poem, which I haven't heard yet.
So I actually have never, ever revealed this poem publicly. And I haven't revealed the following story. This was very early in my poetry writing career, 5th grade. And I was sitting on the school bus, and anybody who's about my age will remember those yellow school buses with the green vinyl covered seats that your thighs stick to, right? And the metal bars at the back of the seat in front of you. So I was looking over into the notebook of the older boy in the seat in front of me. And I noticed the lines, "This would be a great start to a poem about death." And he had these brilliant lines in his notebook. I plagiarized those lines. If you're listening, come and find me. I owe you a lot. I plagiarized those lines for one of the first poems I ever wrote. And my poetry career began because of him.
What's his name? We don't know.
I have no idea who he was.
While you're opening the poem,
was
I want to say hi to Zen Jen, who is also a lovely, lovely person who I know loves poetry. Hi, Zen Jen. And this is Kim Rosen, and I'm sorry her name isn't up here. I didn't think about how this was going to be us being together with only my name, but
right. Well, I also just want to show you that this is my. How do I do this?
Yeah, you got it. That's it.
Anyway.
Death one.
Yes. Okay, there. But not only that, for me, it's kind of amazing to look at what my handwriting was like in those days. But here it is, Death One by me in 5th grade, 1967. To some, it is escape from, to others, escape to, but to all unknown. Like the darkness of the future, death is a mystery. To some, it is for the better, and to others, the worse. But always, always it is there to look forward or away from. It is like the contents of a mouse hole or a dark, musty corner of an old house, the screaming of the wind. Always a mystery.
Are you sure you wrote that?
That is the very first time I have ever read that poem out loud, since my mother used to ask me to read it at Thanksgiving in front of all the relatives, which went over really well when the clown who was there to entertain us took a break and I read my poems about death. So,
okay.
No one has ever brought this out of me before.
I am so honored. Look, Zenjen is saying, wow, I can imagine. And anybody listening to this in the future, wow. Okay, that's phenomenal. And what I love is you use the word mystery. I mean, I've heard you use the word mystery a lot. And I love that young girl was that. And also the turning toward.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, or was that in there?
I don't know that was exactly directly in it. To look forward to, or to look forward or away from. To look forward or away from. Yes.
But still, it had that little bit. And I wasn't planning on starting here, but that just reminded me of our conversation that we were having earlier about that leaning in or back. Can you just go from there with whatever comes up for you around?
Well, it's the same conversation as the everyday dying, in the sense of, it's a Buddhist phrase that I've heard again and again about the turning toward. And what does that mean? I can only say what it means to me is the turning toward what I might habitually or autonomically or prefer to turn away from, the turning towards. And I've heard it used in Buddhist phrases, in Buddhist teachings, about sitting on the pillow and turning toward what comes up. But in this poem, I never noticed that before, but I really do somehow know that at the age of 10 or 9 or something, that we either turn towards or away from it. And, just to say that this Death's Door course that I give, which I've been giving for a lot of years now, and it's really shaping me. It seems like I'm shaping it, but it's shaping me. But I think it really got infused by watching my mother's death, where until the last few days, she fought every bit of it, like go back 50 years, and she loses her girlish figure, which is a kind of death that many of us, to talk about everyday deaths, like the kind of death we have to turn towards, where those of us who have been identified as beautiful, like part of our identity is in beautiful. Her identity was in being, I forget what, my sister will correct me here, but what would be a size 6. Now, losing that, she never got over losing that. She was trying to get back to that for most of her life. And the fighting took place in many, many ways. But it made me want to really give myself in my own process to seeing where I'm fighting what's arising and recognizing this isn't Pollyanna, by the way. I'm not a Pollyanna sort of girl. I'm a Scorpio. But these losses are shaping us into who we really are. I can vouch for that.
Wow.
I can guarantee it, that who we are shines through more and more clearly the more of these acquisitions get stripped away. I'm not saying it's fun, and that doesn't make it easier, but there's a humility in seeing this is life growing us towards our true
Wow.
self, even if we don't like it, right?
I'm going to just pause you for
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. The only reason I'm pausing you is that what you just said was so powerful. And I just want to give anybody listening at the moment, hi Zen Jen, or anybody in the future, and for me too, right at this moment, even if we don't like it, you said it's life shaping us toward our true self.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. But you see it. I mean, you see it whether it's going through the loss of a relationship, right? You know, those relationships that we maybe wouldn't have chosen to lose, but there is often a point where the person you're watching, your good friend who went through the loss of the relationship, where you see them surface like from a mountain stream or something.
Wow.
More fully themselves, having gone through it, right?
Oh, and no doubt, like one of the things I've been talking about, not just because I have this end of life planner, but because of the series of endings and deaths that have been happening in my own life, and how I think I said this to you even earlier, that I couldn't keep the, sometimes I call her cardboard Sherry, like, like I couldn't, I can't maybe, but I think that when we're in the midst of being shaped by life in some of these ways that you're talking about, some of these losses, it just strips us, or me, I'm going to keep speaking for the first person, it strips me of that pretense. It strips me of, where I might normally have a hard time asking for help. Suddenly I'm just like, help.
Yes,
can you help me? Please help me.
Right. I'm a person who can do it all myself.
Right.
I'm invincible. Like those identities
fall away.
At some point.
They fall away. And, even in the worst moments that have been so like I'm on the floor sobbing, I think there's a glimmer of that. Like there's a glimmer of knowing. There's a glimmer of knowing like this is a return to something true.
True.
Does that feel?
Yes, true
resonant?
And truer than what was in our illusion of controlling things, that predates that.
Yes. Oh,
right.
And you said something to me earlier that I'm going to capture here because it's really good for me to remember. Oh, I love that. Senjen says, I can see it myself. There are many layers, right? I was speaking about, and anyone who's a parent can probably relate to this, that when our children go off to college, that is if you love them, and I say that kind of in a funny way, but
it's inclusive anyway.
not everybody has that experience, but a lot of parents who really, really love the time with their children, that is a death when they leave the house. And you said to me earlier, because I was talking about that, piled on with other changes of certain like family rituals that have fallen away. And oh shoot, what did you say to me? I hope you remember, because now
I said, well, I know, I don't know what you're referring to, but I said the old structure is over.
Yes,
it's over. What you said. Who knows what the future holds, but no matter what, the old structure is done, gone. Just like the girl who wrote in this book is dead. Yeah. This was a a 10 to 12-year-old girl who wrote in this book, and she doesn't exist anymore. Neither does your son.
That's what
who was the one before he left for college, right?
And I love the way that you just the way you just said that, like, without, it was compassionate for sure, but you also weren't sugarcoating, there wasn't a sense. And I think often this is the turning toward piece that really strikes me about your work, which is that, often we try to soften or maybe lean away from, I guess maybe it's lean away from or look away from or cover it with something so it's not quite as harsh.
Or numb it out.
Yeah.
Which is probably used frequently as a defense.
Right. And so to hear someone say to me outright, that structure is gone. It's like there's there's just like a like, oh, okay, all right, how will I face that?
Right. Yeah. And how will I open? You have the wisdom, for better or for worse, to know that how you face that is how you'll open to what's next.
Can you say more about that? Because I think that'd be interesting. Like maybe.
Well, I think it's where did I read it? I read it somewhere in your book just now. But I'd never be able to find it. But the fact that how we meet death, whether it's an everyday death, and your son going to college or losing the structure of your family is not an everyday death. For me, an everyday death is seeing if my pants still fit.
Okay,
that's more of an.
I see where, yeah.
But it is a death.
Yeah.
How I open to that is going to, or how I am willing to die, to let whoever I was in that structure die.
Yes.
She's gone, and recognize that that's going to lead to the fullness of what rises from within me now. Right. I don't know if I said anything beyond what I said before.
No, but maybe I needed to hear it again, and maybe other people. Like sometimes we need to hear things, I think, a couple of times. And what's coming up for me is, first of all, I was like, whoa, do I know how to meet these everyday deaths? And how am I? It's bringing a consciousness to it too. And the word everyday death, I told you, like that really resonated with me. And it could mean, right, like you said, it could mean anything from, our physical changes, right? Like I look in the mirror today and I happen to see a new blemish or wrinkle or something going on that I don't like.
Right.
But to me, as I was telling you, it often for me can mean something like I have a wonderful conversation with somebody at the market and they're a stranger and I feel sad when I leave them. Like that's to me that's kind of an everyday death.
Oh, and from what little I know of you, that's such a beautiful part of you also. But it's a beautiful way to practice.
Yes.
To practice in whatever it is for everybody individually. But for you, it's easy because you don't like saying goodbye.
I do not like
so every goodbye, even from the cashier at the supermarket, is an opportunity to practice just breathing into it and softening into it. It's not like we need to know the road through, but all we need to do is be alive moment by moment, which we aren't when we numb out or fight against it or run away from it.
Thank you. That was so clear and so beautiful that it's like what you said, tell me if I'm wrong, but what I heard was all we need to do is be there for it.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to, like that's so beautiful.
You don't need to know how to be there for it.
Yes, but that's everything, right? Like that's everything to know, for me, I often do this, like just a hand on the heart. It's a way of kind of like, okay, and like you said, breathing. But that is enough. And to me, that softened it.
That is so much. It is so much to stop. I mean, even if you stop, even if you don't stop in the supermarket and sit there and breathe, but if you stop when you get to your car, just for a moment and breathe, that is so radical because most of us check our phones, rush off to the next thing, or we never let go and we make a life with the cashier, which never works out well, right?
I want to acknowledge Melissa, who just said, which is so true.
Yes.
Seeing your ex who you love can be an everyday death. I mean, that, whew,
Yes.
I hear that, Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
and just to say again, and the stopping and breathing and not doing anything against the feelings.
Yes.
It's not that you have to do anything with them, but not to do anything against them.
I
is
feel
up
it's
to
like
you.
I feel like I'm breathing more deeply just hearing you say that.
Yeah,
which
it's helping me too.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I hope anyone listening, you know,
Mm.
just like that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to know. It's not like we have to, you know, look at your cat. I'm sorry. Just talk about being in the moment.
Yeah,
The cat's like this. That idea that it's like being with our feelings, being with ourselves.
Mhm.
It's so radical.
It's so radical. And you know, trusting the process, it's such an overused phrase. So in a way, I don't want to use the word trust, but having the knowledge, which I think is just knowledge, that life is carrying us and death is carrying us.
Wow.
And we don't know how to do it any more than a baby knows how to walk. Like you can't give the
Wow.
baby a manual about how to walk, you know, but there is a knowing of how and when to walk in the baby, just
Wow.
as, you know, and this is inspired by Stephen Jenkinson's work for me, who wrote a book called Die Wise. He wrote several books, but that's the one I'm referring to, you know, where he says, how can we teach anyone how to die? We've never done it.
Yes.
Right? We can teach them how to fill out their, what are they called? I forget the names of these.
The advanced healthcare, the will.
You know, not a bad idea, very good idea, but we cannot teach them how to die. And by the way, they don't know how to die. So we cannot ask them how they need to die. But moment by moment, there's a knowing that shows up. It may not be experienced as knowing, but it happens through us.
This is so beautiful, Kim.
And in my possibly limited, but maybe a little more wider experience than some people, I've seen it happen again and again.
Wow.
That whatever it is, whether it's life, you want to call it life or death or the angel of death or whatever you want to call it, shows us moment by moment how to die, whether it's leaving a relationship or a family structure,
Yeah,
or meeting the end of your life, your last breath.
Well, and I wonder how you feel about this. I mean, what's coming up for me? First of all, yes to Melissa leaning into the process.
Mhm.
Melissa, you may not have heard me when I introduced. This is Kim Rosen, who wrote Saved by a Poem, which is an amazing book.
Mhm.
And Kim uses the phrase turning toward. Is that right?
Well, Buddhists use that
Yeah.
phrase. I probably do too.
I
It's
learned
not
it from
something-
you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Even though I'm Buddhist.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, because I love that she said that, leaning in. And leaning in to me, so when you said we can't really teach each other, you know, how to die, even the everyday deaths or the big one. And yet every conversation I have like this,
Mhm.
I feel like there's something happening, like I'm being changed.
Yes. Yes. Maybe, I mean, I've never had this conversation, so I don't know if I'm going to agree with myself after I finish the sentence, but maybe we can teach each other how to unobstruct the dying process.
Oh, do you believe that now that you've said it?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, to the extent that I have learned to breathe and open instead of numb and flee, and you are interested in listening to me, I may be able to transmit that to you. Now, what happens to you when you breathe and open? That's a process that I profoundly trust, but I wouldn't presume to say it needs to go like this and this. Excuse me. Do you
Oh,
really want to be on this live
yeah.
stream?
And let me, Melissa, Kim's book is called Saved by a Poem. And look, it's Mr. Grace. Hello, kitty. So I really, this is a conversation I haven't had, even though, I've been obviously immersed in end of life planning and talking to people, and yet haven't really talked about this actual practice. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about, I was practicing when we were sitting out, in that beautiful patio of yours, looking out at the Mount Tam, and you said, that structure's gone. That, I could have, I saw one part of me wanted to like get up and flee. Like, that's so mean. But another part of me is like, that is the truth, and what am I going to do with that? I'm sorry. The kitty is just stealing the whole show. So what we're talking about, obviously, is I think that maybe this is why I had written down everyday deaths as one of the topics to talk about. I think because for me, that does feel like a way I can start to teach myself, right? Like, I don't know how to die. I don't know how to be with people who are dying. And yet, every time I practice something a little bit smaller than these big deaths, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. We're practicing dying, which is not, somebody said something earlier in the chat. I think Melissa said it, that she said, Jesus can teach us how to die. And I lean on the stories, the life histories of those who have turned towards death. Do you know, even in the Bible, I have a great teacher, which is goes by the name of the Pathwork Guide. I was a student of the Pathwork for many years, and there is a lecture, which is, I can't believe I'm forgetting the number of this lecture, but it's a beautiful lecture in which the Pathwork Guide talks about those words, my God, why have you forsaken me?
Yeah.
And he talks about it as the greatest living teaching of all time, because this is what the guide says, because in that moment, Jesus was willing to be seen in his despair, that he wasn't trying to put forth any kind of facade to the people who had learned faith from them. He was revealing this moment of, and I know it's hard to talk about these things because everyone has probably much more educated, strong feelings about Bible passages than I do, but this is something that's been a huge teaching for me about authenticity and being willing to die into what arises. And in that moment, what was arising was, I am forsaken, and to let it happen to him, let himself feel it. And of course, we believe it wasn't the ultimate truth,
right?
But it was that moment. It was breathing into the death of that moment.
Wow.
The willingness to feel forsaken.
It's beautiful. And it's reminding me, this morning I was having a conversation with a girlfriend, Trisha, hi, if you ever watch this, Trish, who she was reminding me, because I was saying something and I was already trying to get to the next moment before I'd even lived in that moment, if that makes any sense. And I think what you're saying is like I need to be feeling what's here in this moment, not trying to figure out, well, who do I need to be in the next moment when I'm, talking to so-and-so? Like, no, I need to be here feeling. And if it's, why have you forsaken me? Is it, I feel so sad, I feel lost, whatever it is, allow that. And then that's what I think creates the next possibility.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And you asked about you asked me earlier about, is there poetry as part of Death's Door? And
yes.
do you know what I never have quite said it this way, and I probably won't ever say it again, but what comes to mind right now is poetry is a way to trap ourselves in the moment, to drop into those feelings inside a poem, the technology of a poem. And I think a lot about the technology of poems, meaning the poem it's like stepping into a sanctuary. Stepping into a poem is like stepping into a sanctuary with a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's got rhythm that changes our brain waves. It's got a music of language that also softens our brain waves. And then, of course, it has the message and how the message comes through, which is not usually directly to the mind. It's usually a way of breaking open the mind to another level of experience. And, so as you were saying that, I was thinking, yes, and using poems and music, I like to, yes, I'm looking at this Robert Frost, Nature's First Green.
Do you know that? I don't know
I
that.
don't know it.
I don't. I wish we did. I wish Melissa could recite it.
Yeah. Is that nothing gold can stay? No. Anyway, but to intentionally trap oneself in that moment of saying goodbye, to really drop into it.
Yeah.
And music and poetry can do that. I mean, trap is a weird word.
I know, it's a funny word
to use, but what we want to do is we want to keep ourselves from fleeing. And the music and the poetry create a structure, swaddles us, right? Like the way you swaddle a baby who wants to get away, and I don't want to be here, and I feel colicky. You swaddle the baby, and the baby can just relax.
That is so beautiful.
Inside it. So the poetry a poem can do that. Oh, there it is. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold, her early leaves a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief, so dawn goes down to day. Nothing gold can stay. I feel like that's for you. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. That's so beautiful. I mean, it was such a great, I love that, the way you read that. Yes. Yeah. Well, and I love what you're saying, because at first when you said trap, I thought, oh, that is a weird, but I think maybe, like I was thinking that the similar thing is a conversation with a friend who's really present and honest, like you were with me earlier. Like, there's that, like, it's a loving, I'm not going to let you drown this out or try and numb it out or try and escape this because I care about you. I mean, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, I hope, like, partly why you offer your course, I imagine, why I wrote this book, right? Like, part of it is that it's like, I don't want people to escape. I don't want people to escape. I want people to, like, go directly to this topic that is not easy to talk about, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's what will, I believe, transform us.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, it's not for everyone. I like to say, just to say, I like to say that the title of my course is the entry exam. That anyone who would take a course called Death's Door is somebody I want to know. And but those conversations with that friend who really is there, with that person who wants to meet with you, what autonomically or habitually or ordinarily we would turn away from, those are the sacred containers.
Yeah. And I'm connecting this. The reason I looked down for a minute, because I was like, I know this is connected to something else I want to ask you about. And it is what I think is at the heart of my book, which is that I really, in my experience, facing my mortality, and whether it's like the big mortality or these everyday deaths, they're what creates space in me for more joy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
Mhm.
crazy for the mind to get a hold of.
Mhm.
But I know that this is also something you talk about. And I'd just love to hear what your thoughts are on that. Like, how is aliveness so connected to death?
I feel humbled by the question. Like, who am I to answer that? But I do have several answers to
You
it.
might.
I mean, I will say, but it seems very somehow arrogant to say, to actually just answer the question. But how is aliveness so connected to
Yeah.
death? Well, I think it's two things. I think one of the things, and this is going to seem like a non sequitur, but by Melissa.
Oh.
Thanks for the poem.
I know that was perfect for us.
It seems like a non sequitur, but one of the things I say in my workshops is that safety is that risk is not a function of safety. Safety is a function of risk.
Ooh.
And risk is not a function of safety. Safety is a function of risk. And the reason is the same reason as what Melissa brought up earlier when she said in the chat, Jesus can show us how to die, that once you've faced and moved through what you feel is death.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's go back to the supermarket with you.
Yeah.
And you have to say goodbye to the person you just made a beautiful connection with.
Yes.
And you feel sorrow, you feel grief at letting go of that connection.
Yes.
Right? If you don't override it or push it away or check your phone, if you simply feel it, the death that you are afraid of meeting is simply the death of feeling the feeling.
Oh.
It's not so much the death of saying goodbye to that person and the separation, but it's the feeling that the separation brings up. So by softening into the feeling and discovering that we live through it,
yes,
our world is bigger. It's the same with risk and safety. Each time we risk, the world becomes safer because we've entered into something that some part of us experienced as a death. Now maybe you don't want to use the word death for that, for looking into somebody's eyes is a little death because our habit is to glaze or to look away, but there's a little death there. And then I can really look like, wow, those are beautiful. But there's a little death even in doing something that's out of the cultural habits.
Yes.
And each time I do that, I'm more alive because my world has become safer and bigger, right? And so that's one. And I can't remember the second thing I was going to say.
Too.
I know, I did, but that's another little death that I have to go through all the time is I forget.
Maybe it'll come back. And something dropped in for me.
Oh, I remember. Oh, can you remember? You're younger than me. Can you hold on to this?
I will remember.
So the other is just a simple engineering problem in that when we're holding against anything, we're holding against everything. Right?
Oh.
So
yes,
one can't have, there's a beautiful lecture in the Pathwork called Pleasure, the Full Pulsation of Life. And it's really the simple cliff note to it is, as long as you're pushing away what you feel, what you are afraid are going to be painful feelings, and they probably are, painful feelings, negative feelings, feelings you're not supposed to have, as long as your arms are like this, it's really hard to feel pleasure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And internally, as long as we're holding against the everyday deaths and even the one death, there's a holding against within us, and the life force cannot run through us fully.
That is everything.
Yeah.
You were the perfect person to answer that question. You said, who am I? And I'm like, but that's so true, right? That it's almost as if, I often will say something, and I think this came from Naomi Shihab Nye's kindness poem, that there's something in there, isn't there, about that it's like, when we open to the sorrow, there's
Mhm.
more room for joy. Is there?
Let me pull that stanza up.
I love this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, before you know, it's so hard to begin in the middle of a poem. Um, before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow
Yes.
as the other deepest thing inside. You must speak to sorrow. You must talk to it until your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. And then it's only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend.
Love that you can do this.
So that's Naomi Shihab-Nye, the last two stanzas of kindness, and I did one word wrong. I just want to correct it. I did two words wrong, but I'm only going to correct one. Kindness. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore, only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and gaze at bread.
I love you so much. I love
it has to be as right as possible.
And the fact that you can do that that is answering a question I didn't even ask about poetry, but I just want to say that, right? The fact that you can give voice to something that I was kind of like, oh, there's something I can't quite, and then through poetry, it's perfect, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
I love that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't forget what I wanted to say, which was when
good.
I was asking about aliveness and death. I often use in my own work like that grief and celebration are two sides of the same coin, which I think this is a similar. But I was remembering a conversation that I had with a friend just before I came to see you. And I was telling her that my dear sweet Zoe passed away, my sweet cat. And that actually a couple of years ago, when she got to be about 16, I remember she was meowing to be picked up. And I walked by her and I stopped and I thought, oh, my dear little kitties. She's saying I'm here. And I picked her up and I thought, I don't want to miss a moment. I don't want to miss a moment because she's not going to be here one day. And I held her so close and I just closed my eyes and was feeling her purr and her softness. And from that moment on, I mean, not every time, but pretty much every day, at least, I would remember this sweet kitty is not going to be here, but she is now. And it's that tension between the two that really allowed me to fully get there.
Yes.
I think that's the thing, right? Like I made sure that I was right there with her because it wasn't like, well, she'll always be here. And I think this is the nature.
That is one of the gifts,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. That it's that, and we all like to think that everybody we love is just going to be around. Oh, I'm going to come see Kim again. I'll see your cats, but we don't know.
No,
we don't know.
No.
And I really want, that's so beautiful, Zenjen.
Yes.
I don't want to miss any more of all of it. Right.
I'm with you.
Me too. Right. And that's like, again, what I hope came across at the heart of this book, that it's not so much about, it's not morbid. It's not even, to me, it's not even sad. It's really about life force.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And it's about, unobstructing, unmasking, revealing, pulling away the veil.
Yes.
So that we can be fully alive together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even when, and I can say this in full, like what I've been living for the past 3 months has been like a lot of sobbing on the phone with my friends.
Mm.
And as unfun as that might be, it is so connecting. And I've had so many friends tell me, like, I'm not happy you're going through this grief,
Mhm.
but I'm so happy that I'm so happy that we're connected.
Yeah, that
You
we're
know?
connected and that you're allowing us to connect this way,
Yes. Right.
you know,
Right.
where it might have been more difficult to access the connection
Exactly.
previously.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, like, mentioning that sort of cardboard Sherry, there is in my nature, like, I don't want to bother people. I don't,
Mhm.
I got this. And, those moments of like, when like you said, the veil coming off, facing end of life, facing everyday deaths, it requires us to show up in a different way.
Mhm.
And aren't we lucky
Yeah.
for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm.
Kim, I'm wondering, I mean, we've been sort of like having like poetry and different connections around this. Is there anything that feels like at the moment that you're like, oh, I really want to bring this in before we go?
There's this poem nagging me.
Oh,
2 poems actually that are nagging me, and I don't even know if they're relevant because I won't know it until I say them, even what's in them.
Okay.
But just in terms of the grief and celebration, 2 sides of the same coin, I keep thinking about Mark Nepo's poem Adrift.
Oh,
Do you know this poem? You probably do.
I might when you say
Yeah,
it, but
yeah. Everything is beautiful, and I am so sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light pouring through the lace of the fern is as delicate as these tendrils of memory forming their web around the knot in my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch as this ache makes me look for those I love in the next room, in the next song, in the laughter of the next stranger. At the very center, under it all, what we have that no one can take away, and all we've lost, face each other. It is there I'm adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists inside everything. I am so sad, and everything is beautiful.
Oh, that's so, well, that was perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Mark Nepo.
I know.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
said there was a second poem that was nagging you.
Yes, well, it's a poem. Shall I do another poem?
Yes, I think this is
poem?
perfect. I
Yeah.
love ending. I didn't realize you were going to do this, but I think this is the most beautiful way for us to end this
Okay.
live conversation that we're having.
Live. And let me just say that the Mark Nepo poem is on Feast of Losses, which may I just say that Jamie Sieber and I, this incredible cellist that I have the amazing privilege of working with, created an album about grief and gratitude called Feast of Losses. And so if you want to hear that poem again, it is on Feast of Losses with a lot of other amazing poems.
I'm just going to write that down so I put the link under.
Oh, that would be great.
Feast of, yes.
Yeah. So the poem I'm thinking of is a poem called Threshold. And if anybody watching this knows Newton Smith, who I know has passed away, this is the author, but I've never been able to contact anyone who's connected with him to get the rights. So I'll just put it out there. I love this poem so much, and it's so much what we're talking about today.
Oh, this is great. What a gift.
Yeah. Threshold. It has happened. You thought you had some control of your life and were in a place you knew, with a past you understood and a future that followed in a more or less straight line. But here you are at the edge of a shore, the shallow waves washing over your feet, taking the sand you stand on away.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly you wonder if all the ground beneath you is disappearing. You have crossed through the threshold. The door has closed and locked behind you. You are on the other side. You try to forget it. Distract yourself.
Sorry.
You check your messages. Someone has left a voicemail on your phone. The doctor's office has left a voicemail on your phone. Is it blood test results, survival rate for treatment, or days left to live? As the panic subsides, you stand there looking around. Everything is fresh. Colors are vivid. You can smell scents, even subtle ones. You can feel the breeze on your skin and the tickle of hair moving over your brow. You are pierced through with the singular joy at having nothing. The sand forms around your foot, and the water wipes away all traces of your path. Everywhere you look, there is something new, and the air around you holds you tenderly as it spills out into the expanding world. So many things seem remarkable now. Here is the freedom that always terrified you. You have forgotten your name, and it doesn't matter. It's a poem called Threshold by Newton Smith.
Oh, Newton Smith
Yeah.
and Kim.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Oh.
you. That is so beautiful.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, I was just kind of opening this book randomly I'm just going to open it randomly
You are?
and read something to you. Well, semi-randomly.
Yes.
A little randomly. Oh, look, I opened it to celebration. Wow. This is how we feel about this conversation. I hope that as you've been considering all of these areas where you still have time, that has felt like a gift. I hope this section of the book has shown you that your energy and breath are fuel for creativity and change. The truth is, every day we are alive is a gift. It's easy to forget that, but the more we remind ourselves, the more we feel it.
Oh, thank you.
Not bad, right? This is Sherry's book. A beautiful book.
Oh.
Beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful.
and let me
gift.
just also remind people about Saved by a Poem. And I just love the fact that you were game to turn on, go live, just talk. And then these poems that just like arrived with you.
They help me so much.
And me too.
Oh, thank you.
And the cats that arrived with you.
And the
too.
cats that arrived and clawed my cashmere shawl to get into the conversation.
And listen, I want to thank those of you who are here listening now, whether you commented or not, and to anybody watching later, thank you for being here. And thanks for being willing to listen to a conversation, to join in and lean in, as it were, right? Lean toward.
Turn toward. That's the Buddhist phrase.
Yes.
Turn toward. But I like all of yours as well.
They're all great.
Yes.
Just don't run.
Yes.
Unless you want to, and then you can.
Yes.
Right?
No, but the stopping and breathing in the grocery store.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mwah. Thank you,
you all. Thank you, Zen Jen.
And Melissa too.
And Melissa.
Mwah. Bye, Zen Jen. We love that you were here with us at this moment.